As the sun set behind the hills and the land grew quiet, a gentle stillness settled over the village. Lamps were lit one by one, doors were closed, and the noise of the day slowly faded. Night had come, not as a threat, but as a covering. In this village lived a man named Asher. He was faithful, kind, and diligent. Yet his heart often felt heavy. The day demanded much from him, and the night gave his thoughts too much room to speak. When the world grew quiet, his problems grew loud. Asher would lie awake, staring into the darkness, replaying the worries of the day. Unfinished tasks, uncertain tomorrows, questions without answers. The silence did not bring him rest. It brought him reminders of everything he could not control. He believed in God. He had always believed. But lately, his focus had shifted. His prayers had become lists of problems. His thoughts had become measured by fear, and his heart had forgotten how to rest. One night, when sleep would not come, Asher rose from his bed and stepped outside. The sky was filled with stars, steady and untroubled. The air was cool, and the world seemed to breathe more slowly. Asher lifted his eyes and whispered, "Lord, I know you are here, but my problems follow me even into the night." He sat on a stone near his door and listened to the quiet. And as he did, he remembered the words of an old teacher who once said, "The night reveals what the heart holds on to." Asher closed his eyes, and before he knew it, sleep came gently. And he dreamed. In his dream, Asher was walking through a wide valley under a dark sky. He carried a lantern, but its light was weak. All around him were shapes that looked like dangers, shadows that shifted, stones that seemed like obstacles, paths that looked uncertain. Asher walked slowly, his eyes fixed on the ground, watching every step, afraid of what he might encounter next. The more he stared at the path, the more frightened he became. Then he heard a voice, calm and familiar. "Why are you walking in fear?" Asher looked up and saw the Lord standing beside him. His presence did not disturb the night, it softened it. Asher answered honestly, "Because I am surrounded by problems, and I am afraid of what I cannot see." The Lord said, "Lift your eyes." Asher hesitated. "If I stop watching the ground, I might fall." The Lord replied, "You will stumble not because you look up, but because you forget who walks with you." Slowly, Asher raised his eyes. He saw that above the valley, the stars were fixed in place. The sky was vast and steady. Nothing was rushing. Nothing was collapsing. The valley had not changed, but his perspective had. The Lord spoke gently, "You have been measuring the night by your fears instead of by my presence." Asher felt peace wash over him like a warm blanket. The Lord continued, "Problems grow heavy at night because the heart is tired. But night was never meant for striving. It was meant for trust." As they walked together, Asher noticed something strange. The shadows no longer frightened him. They were still there, but they no longer seemed alive. The Lord said, "When you focus on your problems, they become your companions. When you focus on me, they lose their voice." Asher asked, "But Lord, the problems are real. Should I ignore them?" The Lord answered, "No, but you must not give them the throne of your thoughts. Problems are part of the journey. I am the guide." They reached a quiet place in the valley, and the Lord invited Asher to sit. The ground felt warm, safe. "You carry tomorrow into the night," the Lord said. "But tomorrow does not belong to you. It belongs to me." Asher felt tears rise, not from fear, but from relief. The Lord said, "You were never meant to solve everything before resting. Faith does not work harder at night. faith rests. Asher realized how often he had tried to think his way into peace instead of trusting his way into it. The Lord placed a hand on his shoulder. When the night comes, shift your focus. Remember my faithfulness. Remember my nearness. Let the day end where trust begins. The valley slowly faded, and Asher awoke. He was back in his home. The night was still, but his heart was quiet now. Asher returned to his bed and lay down, not to wrestle with thoughts, but to release them. When worries arose, he did not argue with them. He gently turned his attention back to God. He whispered, "You are here. That is enough." From that night on, Asher learned a sacred rhythm. During the day, he worked and planned. During the night, he trusted and rested. His problems did not vanish. Some remained for a long time, but they no longer stole his peace after sunset. He learned that focusing on God did not mean denying difficulty. It meant placing difficulty into hands far greater than his own. And the elders later taught the people, saying, "The night does not magnify problems. The mind does." When the heart focuses on God, even the darkest hours become places of rest. For God does not sleep. God does not forget. God does not lose control when you close your eyes. And blessed is the one who ends the day by lifting their focus, not on what troubles them, but on the one who watches over them. For when you focus on God, the night becomes gentle, and rest becomes an act of faith.